This is the iPhone 16e and it costs $599, making it the most affordable phone Apple sells. But what's it like to use? Well, let me explain. At the time I'm recording this video, I've been using the iPhone 16e for 4 days. And I have to say, it's a good phone. Along with all the standard functions, I can use Apple Intelligence, I can connect to a satellite for a demo of emergency services, and I can play video games like Resident Evil 4. I mean, what more could you possibly want, right? But I can do all of these things on the iPhone 16 and 16 Pro, but I don't have to pay as much to do them with the 16e. Now, I wouldn't call the iPhone 16e a budget phone or a cheap phone, but I do think it's worth the $600 price, even if it does miss that $500 sweet spot that other affordable phones hit, like the Google Pixel 8a. So, what's it like to use the iPhone 16e? Well, here are 5 things I like about it and 3 that I don't. The iPhone 16e's design is familiar, just like the flat-sided models we've had since the iPhone 12. The back glass has a sophisticated texture matte finish, which looks understated and gives the phone a, well, more premium air about it. Now, there's no camera bump sticking out of the back, just a single lens, which gives the black iPhone 16e that I've been testing some serious 2001: A Space Odyssey monolith vibes. Now, I've said this before. I'd rather have one really good camera than 2 or 3 mediocre ones that are often found on budget Android phones. The iPhone 16's main camera has a 48 megapixel sensor, which has enough resolution to make a sensor crop of the middle to offer a 2 times magnification. And the results are good. Is the iPhone 16 more versatile with its second rear camera and ultra-wide lens? And does the iPhone 16 Pro take better photos? Yes and yes. But the iPhone 16e is great for someone who just wants to document a moment and share it with their friends and family. Now, take a look at these photos and videos that I took with the iPhone 16e. Most people have no idea what kind of modem their phone has, and they just want to know that they can get a signal and have a call that sounds good. And while it's technically impressive that Apple designed the C1 modem, its first, and used it in the iPhone 16e, it's really about how well it works. And in the calls that I made, indoors, outdoors, and around San Francisco on AT&T, the iPhone 16e sounds good. I was able to use 5G to download apps on the go and play Severance on the Apple TV Plus app with no problem. I did run some speed tests side by side with an iPhone 16 Pro Max that was also on AT&T, and while the 16 Pro Max had faster download speeds, the 16e's results were still very good. In fact, its upload speeds beat the 16 Pro Max. At the time I'm recording this video, I'm still running CNET's array of battery tests, but check out my full written review on CNET.com where I'll make sure to include all the results. But let me say this, we're recording this after I've been using the phone for 4 days, and I've only had to charge the iPhone 16e twice. Now, I've been using it heavily, testing the cameras, running Apple Intelligence tools, and playing graphically intense video games. The iPhone 16e can definitely make it through a day on a single charge, and depending on how you use the phone, you might even get a day and a half out of it. The iPhone 16e is a gateway into Apple's software and services. iOS runs smoothly, and being able to customize the home screen and control center is lovely. But I also get all of Apple's emergency features, including satellite services, like the ability to reach emergency responders when my phone doesn't have a signal, or be able to text friends and family over satellite. Does the iPhone 16e have every Apple bell and whistle? No. But Apple chose wisely to include nearly all of the best ones. And now let's talk about some of the things on the iPhone 16e that I wish were different or didn't like. The iPhone 16e costs $600, and maybe I'm suffering from sticker shock a bit, but in 2025, $600 is a lot of money, at least to me. And I know that's before carrier deals, discounts, and trade-ins, so it's possible you can get one for around $500 or less if you don't want to go the route of using an installment plan and pay it over a couple of years. I do think that the iPhone 16e is worth its price, and it is likely that Apple could have made a version that's closer to $500, but they would have had to omit or compromise on even more features to do so. Though I do wonder how the iPhone 16e will look in the fall when the iPhone 17 is released and there's all these deals and discounts for it. The iPhone 16e's screen reminds me of the one on the iPhone 14. It has a notch which doesn't bother me in use, but I gotta say, I do miss Dynamic Island and seeing my timer at the top of the screen counting down. Now, you have to wonder how nice a screen with a high refresh rate would have been on the iPhone 16e, especially when you consider that most Android phones that are this price or cheaper all have one. I do think this screen will age better than the 4.7-inch LCD on the last iPhone SE did, but what will it be like to use an iPhone 16e in 3 or 4 years? And I should note that in everyday use, even outdoors, that the screen looks good. I guess if you want a better screen, there's always the iPhone 16 Pro. The iPhone 16e lacks MagSafe support. Is that the end of the world? No, but I imagine there are people who don't have an iPhone with MagSafe or have never used it and don't know what they're missing. But in a household where you're with someone who does have an iPhone with MagSafe and has all the accoutrement like charging stands, I could see that being a bit annoying. My guess is that there will be a company that makes cases for the iPhone 16e that have magnets that allow the phone to work with magnetic charging stands and accessories. So, who should get the iPhone 16e? Well, if you're rocking an iPhone SE or an iPhone 11 or older, this will be a nice upgrade in nearly every way, from the cameras to the battery life, though you might miss that ultra-wide camera. I also think that this is a good phone for people using Android phones who want to switch and dip their proverbial toe into Apple's waters. Now, the iPhone 16e could also be a solid option for teenagers as well as your parents, especially if they're on a phone that's 4 or 5 years old. Now, between the iPhone 16e and the iPhone 15, I choose the 16e as long as you're okay not having a dynamic island or the ultra-wide camera and MagSafe. I think the fact that the iPhone 16e has an A18 processor is its special sauce. And that's all I've got. Now I want to hear from you. What do you think of the iPhone 16e? Are you considering getting one? If so, let me know in the comments. And lastly, if you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and thank you for watching.